All right, when our next guest wasn't working in her family's tortilla factory in Texas, she was making lists of the goals she wanted to accomplish. One of those, just to become a CEO.
I don't even know what a CEO was until I was in my 30s. And as a teen, Sandra Campos landed in New York with very little money, but a whole lot of ganas. She helped brands like Juicy Couture and Ralph Lauren remain relevant. I said it, she didn't.
Well,
yes.
Well, 3 kids later and likely more lists of goals, Sandra became the first Latina CEO of the famed designer house, Diane von Furstenberg.
Yes.
Wow.
She joins us this morning. Thank you for making your New York Living debut. Exactly.
Thank you.
But welcome.
Show off is actually right. So what does it mean to be having been the first Latina CEO for Diane von Furstenberg?
Well, it's interesting because it wasn't just the first Latina CEO, it was the first female CEO. She had a lot of male CEOs in the past. And it really is, in fashion and in retail, women are the predominant consumer. So 75% of the choices are made by the female in the home. And it's obvious that women will know a little bit more in terms of what women want to spend money on. And it brings a little bit more emotion. There's some statistics that show that female-run organizations are actually more profitable than those of male-run organizations. So it was really impactful, but more so because it was more impactful to the community than I realized. The community of Latinos who we don't have that many CEOs to begin with. There's less than 2% of senior executives in Fortune 500 companies that are women. There's only 1% of Latinas that sit on corporate boards. So it's a very small percentage. So I realized after I became the CEO of DBF that it's a very important marker so that other women can see that's the journey I could take. I want to get there, and how do I do it?
Right.
Once you got there, what were some of the biggest challenges and obstacles as being a woman and a Latina as a CEO? I'm sure there were many, but what were the biggest ones for you to overcome?
Overall, right now, business is challenging, right? So there's a lot of macroeconomic factors that go into running a business, and so that's just going to hit everyone, regardless if you're male or female or Latina or not. And I think overall, you just have to prove yourself more.
Right.
As a woman, you're proving yourself more. As a Latina, you're proving yourself even that much more. So it was constantly trying to make sure that you are showcasing yourself as a leader, that you're focused on your team and what you're producing in terms of the products that we're going out and the community that you're building. So for me, it was really important to build that community around the brand and the business and to focus in on the consumer first.
Right, and obviously, Sandra knows fashion. It courses through her veins. But something really fascinating is that we talked about you made lists when you were a kid, and you'd revisit those lists every now and again. We have a lot of young women who watch the program, and I wonder if you could share some of your advice for them, because I think sometimes literally writing a list can help you visualize something, but you are a trailblazer, so what advice would you give them?
Well, first is do make lists, have goals, and I always had goals of this is what I want to be doing, title, salary by this age. And if I have those goals, and I do this in business now today where I say this is where I want the business to be, and I work backwards from that. So I, at that point, looked at every other CEO and president that was in the industry, and I said, how'd they get there? And I started charting their path, and that's the path and the direction that I started to take. That's one part. The other part that I didn't know was access. Access to people and networking is really important. So that's the second piece of advice, is to really understand how important it is to network and maintain relationships.
Never say
no to a meeting.
No.
Never say no to a meeting.
Now, I saw this phrase, and at first I'm like, Latina disruptors, that sounds like trouble. But, you're one of them. Give us a little idea of what this event's going to be all about.
Right. So I'm hosting an event tomorrow, actually, which is for 6 female entrepreneurs who happen to be Latinas, but they are outsizing and outperforming the rest of even women in that case is in terms of their businesses. They're scaling businesses. Latinos are very entrepreneurial, as you know, and they're twice as likely to be able to start businesses than non-Latinos. But these Latinas are actually scaling their businesses up to $100 million, which is not the norm. The majority of Latino businesses in general are $1 million. And they stay small. It's very hard. Capital is a barrier. It's very hard to be able to get business loans, 60% harder than it is for non-Latinos.
So part of this event is putting a focus and shining a light and saying, hey, people with a lot of money, banks, sponsors, this is where you need to put your money.
Behind it.
Exactly. So we're showcasing these women who are doing incredible things, creating impact, creating jobs, really out of the $1.7 trillion that we have as discretionary income as Latinas, 85% of the decisions are made by the women. in the homes. So
Here,
versus 7%,
here.
it's 85%.
We could talk forever and ever. You're going to have to come back.
Wonderful, yeah.
Tell us how it went.
Good luck with you.
Because
I will.
it
Thank
is
you.
invitation only, but with reason. Because she's talking to a specific.
We need deep pockets.
We need deep
That's what we
pockets,
need
and
here.
I don't have deep
and
pockets.
not short hands or short arms. We need deep pockets.
Yes,
and
and
they're
we're
gonna reach
able
out.
to scale and grow businesses profitably.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Sandra.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Likewise.